Chris Godwin on NFL Network last night. I love how he's like, oh, yeah, we were really close to actually leaving Tampa.
Almost.
Then we saw the Patriots' actual offer.
That's what he said.
And we realized all the per-game bonuses and workout bonuses and all the nonsense in the contract. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll just stay in Tampa.
Not what he said.
I think that's – did I translate that properly? I think that's what I got there.
He said he and Maria were talking about it. They
Mariah.
I'm sorry, Mariah.
She's on fire.
Sure.
Yeah.
He and Mariah, they thought about it. They almost left. They thought about it. Uproot everybody and leave Tampa, where he's played his entire career. Wasn't going to do it.
Patriots are going to give me $30 million a year. Hell yeah,
that's pretty good.
Fax that contract on over. Let me see that. I'll docu-sign that. Wait a minute. I have to. So play,
you don't think there's a scenario?
I have to play 17 games a year to get anywhere near the number that they're offering. Oh, it's actually all nonsense, like Milton Williams' contract. Oh, interesting.
You don't think that he would take less money to stay in Tampa Bay?
I do.
Oh.
I think that.
Okay, so that's what's happening.
Okay, but do you think the Patriots absolutely are offering him $30 million a year?
Blew him out of the water? Maybe not. I bet they offered him a good amount of money.
They might have had the most money on the table.
They got all these guys on defense, and they offered them a good amount of money. So I bet they offered him more. The problem was Carlton Davis and Milton Williams and Harold Landry. They didn't have like their hometown team, or not hometown team, but like the team that they played their whole lives were offering them comparable money. Right, so like they were able to outbid other teams, whereas I think Stanley and Godwin, they probably didn't go too far over.
Here's what I would say: the Patriots can come out and say they offered the most to Calvin Ridley. They did not.
No.
And could they have offered the most to Godwin? They could have. Yeah, I don't think it was $30 million a year, real money. I don't think it was even close to that. And my guess is when he actually lined up the two offers, his take home might have been higher in Tampa when you do factor in taxes and things like that. And secondarily, I'm not giving the Patriots the benefit of the doubt. Like, when you dig in on Milton Williams' deal, it's not $104 million, and they're never what they're billed as. But again, that's a guy who's been relatively healthy in his career. If I'm Godwin, or I'm Cooper Kupp, who we'll get to here in a moment, or Ronnie Stanley, all those guys are, in the case of Stanley, already 30. In the case of Kupp, 30. Godwin pushing 30. They're guys who have dealt with injuries. And, yeah, I don't want to play the if I'm out there, I get paid. If I'm not, I don't. Especially if Tampa's not playing that game with me. I'll take the guaranteed money instead of the upshot of if I play in 17 games, I'll make all my money. I want the real money up front, and then if I get hurt, I have some protection. He won't have that with the Patriots. Milton Williams does not have that with the Patriots.
Plus, you need to go beyond that, too. You know, Tom Curran's talked about the suck tax for the last couple of years. The team's bad. The location's not ideal. The offense is a bit of an unknown, right, just as far as, like, this is going to be another offensive coordinator for the Patriots. I know it's somebody who's done it before, but it's, Drake May and a whole new group of guys. So it's not the most appetizing thing in the world. The DK Metcalf one is certainly different because DK Metcalf says one thing and then ends up going to Pittsburgh, right? You're like, well, wait a minute. If you're going to go to Pittsburgh, if the Patriots were actually in on that, maybe they could have gotten him. Whereas Godwin and Stanley strike me more as they didn't really want to go anywhere. And they were listening to offers because that's what you do. You hit free agency. You want to see what else is out there. You want to make sure the team that you want to stay with offers you something competitive enough in order to stay. Not talking about Marchand again, but if Marchand hit actual free agency and found out that, wow, teams are only offering 6.5, maybe he would take 6.3 to stay here, right? Just, so he doesn't have to deal with the whole thing of leaving and loves the city and all that other stuff. And so maybe that's what these guys are doing. Maybe the Patriots had a good offer, but it wasn't wildly better than what the Ravens or the Bucs were offering.
My guess is if it's anything approaching 30, it was incentive heavy. Bill Barnwell kind of ballparked it at close to 30. Rap Sheet said he left $20 million on the table. Schefter said the Patriots are coming hard after him. I think you can connect the dots and say the Patriots are at least telling people they had the best offer for Godwin. My guess is it's nowhere near $30 million a year. Nowhere near that. And if it was, he would have had to play every single game, 17 games for 4 or 5 straight years and make all his workout bonus. Exactly. He would have had hit every single incentive in his deal to get anywhere approximating that. 617-779-7937. Is that why the Patriots still don't have a wide receiver and a left tackle and high-level players in free agency on offense? One player that we both like, and I don't know if he fits the bill as a high-level player or not, I guess that's in the eye of the beholder, is Cooper Kupp. Andrew Callahan in the Boston Herald writes
he was great.
Cooper Kupp is curious about New England. He says, according to a league source, Kupp is curious about the prospect of playing for the Patriots and has shared that curiosity with some close to him. Kupp has a personal and professional connection to the Patriots, starting with ex-college teammate and fellow wideout Kendrick Bourne, who's repeatedly advocated for Kupp to come to New England on social media. The two remain friendly. Sources say they played together at Eastern Washington.
So the way that sentence started, it felt like there's going to be more examples, and then it was just Kendrick Bourne, right?
He has
I read the same
personal
thing.
and professional connections to the Patriots, starting with ex-teammate. Yeah.
But it also sounds like ending with Kendrick Bourne. Am I wrong? Like, I was waiting for more. I don't know what the other connections are. Like, there's no connection to Drake May. There's no connection, I don't believe, to Josh McDaniels or Mike Vrabel, right? He's been a Sean McVay L.A. Ram for his whole career.
Yeah,
so I don't know what the other connections are, and I have a bad feeling about this one because I really want Cooper Kupp. I understand he's not the most durable player. He's one of those guys that when he's out there, he's still really good and really, really productive. But when he's not, he's just out. And he's like, how many games is he going to play? You don't know. So that's tough if he's your true number one guy. I just wonder. The Rams said we don't want him, which is got to be a tough blow to him.
Yeah, and
maybe
I would
a red flag.
I would underscore that for a moment.
Go ahead.
The Rams don't want him, and they signed Devontae Adams at basically the money they owed him.
Yeah.
So they look at Devontae Adams, who's older than Kupp, but he's been a lot healthier, more durable than Kupp, and they say this is an upgrade. So that is, when it comes to Cooper Kupp, that is a massive red flag. The team that knows him was going to throw the same money at an older player.
But also, I think what is smart, if you're a wide receiver that's available right now, you should probably say you're interested in the Patriots just to see what kind of offer could get out there. The Patriots still have a lot of cap space. They clearly have a need at that position, and so maybe it would work out for you in a similar way as it did to Chris Godwin. Not that he's going to stay with his team, but maybe somebody's like, oh, well, the Patriots are involved, so maybe they're going to offer 2 at 34, or I don't know what it's, 2 at 36. So then it seems like, all right, we'll offer the same thing. Hopefully he chooses us because we have a better team, we have a better quarterback, we have a better future for 2025. Because Kupp's probably not going to play a whole lot longer. He's going to be 32 for the upcoming season. He's dealing with all these different injuries. The last year he was truly great was 2021. So he's not a perfect player, but when you consider what the Patriots have done so far offensively, which is Mac Hollins and Morgan Moses, I don't have a lot of faith that they get Cooper Kupp.
Yikes. Well, I don't like that.
No, well, listen.
We went through the list yesterday, Keith, and already names are off of it, or at least DeAndre Hopkins is a name that was off of the list yesterday. We identified like 5 names.
Yeah.
Steph Diggs, Amari. If it's not Cooper Kupp, who is it?
Keenan
What's
Allen.
left? Keenan Allen.
Deontay Johnson. There's no way when they're talking about going on and on about culture, there's no way they're bringing him in. Kupp would check that box. Kupp would check
that box?
Good dude.
I feel like Cooper largely would check that box. Maybe I'm incorrect. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so.
Diggs, though? Diggs has worn out his welcome a couple of different places.
No, I think you can take Johnson and Diggs off the list.
Deontay Johnson wore out his welcome a couple of different places just last year.
Keenan Allen? Was there issues last year in Chicago? I don't remember.
Well, he was heavy.
He was
hefty. I think
he's not the same guy.
Well, if you look at Allen's overall numbers, they were bad. Once Thomas Brown, who's now here, became the play caller in Chicago, he had a good finish to last year. So maybe he
forgot about that. So you know what?
Maybe he was playing his way into shape, or maybe he just finally figured something out with Caleb Williams chemistry wise, or Thomas Brown emphasized him. But Allen had a really good finish to last year. The overall numbers are bad.
So it's a good point when you look at all the different coaches that they have on the staff now and all the different places they've been over the last couple of years. We talked about this with Cam Robinson yesterday. If Doug Marrone feels really strongly that he can work, they should go after him. If he feels really strongly that it would be bad, then maybe listen to him.
Good point.
And same thing with Thomas Brown. If Thomas Brown thinks Keenan Allen can help this wide receiver room and has something left in the tank, listen to him. Now, the flip might be true. Maybe he's like, listen, guys, I was with him, and holy smokes, he is a far cry from what he was with the Chargers. Well, then you don't bring him in. But they do need to bring in somebody. Right now, all they have is 3s and 4s and 5s for wide receivers. They don't have a true number 1 or number 2.
So to say he had a strong finish, maybe I overstated it. He had like a 5-week run from, if you remember, he lit up. Was it the Lions on Thanksgiving Day? Lit them up for 2 touchdowns. The week before he had 80. So he had a stretch where he was really productive for about a month there. The final couple of weeks of the year, he did nothing. That offense did nothing. Right. So maybe to say he had a full-on strong finish is too much. But he had a good stretch once they switched to Thomas Brown last year. But if it's not Cooper Kupp, who is it?
What about Tyler Lockett on the text line? Would you take Tyler Lockett?
I love Tyler Lockett.
Yeah,
I think he's done. I'd rather be in on Keenan Allen than someone like Tyler Lockett.
Text line also saying Kupp would be similar to Wes Welker signing with the Broncos, maybe 1 good year. Honestly, I'll take it.
I would take a good year.
I'll take a good year. I don't think they have anybody right now on the roster that I'd feel, or at that position on the roster that I'd feel great about having a good year. If you can sort of get that good year, and have Drake May take a big leap from his rookie year to his second year, then great. Then you got to figure out the guy. Nobody's saying Cooper Kupp is going to line up with Drake May's prime. Like, no. Just sort of like unlock him. Have a really good year and then see what happens.
Right. I hate that. Ideally, you have a young receiver who comes in that Drake May can grow with. Okay, well, that's ideal, but you're not paying for those guys. You didn't trade for DK Metcalf.
No.
So now you got to do the next thing.
Unless you draft one, I guess.
Right. And what's the best out of that next thing? Someone like Cooper Kupp, I think. Keefe skeptical that Kupp will land here. You can jump in, 617-779-7937. I just don't love that they're pinning all their hopes on Kendrick Bourne, who, like, are we sure Kendrick Bourne's even on the team? And he's like their pitch man for Cooper Kupp?
No, because right now they have Baker and Polk, rookies from last year, so I guess second-year guys. You have Pop and Booty, who are going to be in their third year, who are both better than those two guys that I named. You have Kendrick Bourne and Mac Hollins.
Right.
So that's six guys.
Like if I had to bet on it, Bourne's on the team, but I don't think it's anywhere near a lock that he's on the team. And he's the guy leading the charge to sign Cooper Kupp.
Bourne's best season was with McDaniels.
That is true. The first
he
year
had
in New England
yards.
was his best year, and he was trending for a pretty good year 2 years ago before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He
was ahead of the curve in hating Matt Patricia as offensive coordinator. He was like the first one that was like, this guy?
That's true.
Yeah, so he's the best receiver was in the doghouse for a season.